Wow, treasured greetings once again. Welcome to the session of Basic Concepts of Information Technology. My name is still Treasure. I'm still playing the IT space and also do other strategic projects like in the space of CSR and organizational development, wellness. So the purpose of this is just like we started. We are still there. We are in the lockdown and students still need to pass and people still need to learn. So it is quite a great time to use to still learn, right? I believe that students can still pass, um, and that is why I'm just sacrificing a bit of my time to assist you. All right, so we are doing this in the Unlimited Treasure channel, right? So I ask that you subscribe so that you keep on seeing the new clips as we load them, right? And feel free to comment, like, ask questions. The purpose is really to help, so feel free to do so. In the previous sessions, we already covered the general concepts. We've covered things including the types of computers, the parts of computer, what's key to note when you start a computer, high level of hardware and software. We've also gone deeper into the types of software like application software and operation system software. We have covered input and output devices. We've spoken to things like accessibility to enable disabled people or people with limitations. We've spoken to storage and also memory, and please always understand that they are not the same things. We're talking RAM and ROM when you're talking memory. Storage, you have stored it. It's either you have stored it in a removable media or in a non-removable media. Non-removable, uh, that could be your cloud or your internal hard drive and the likes, and removable, which is your USBs, external disks, CDs. So, guys, again, I know that there's people who refer to RAM as storage. It's really not correct because if your computer dies before you save something, what the only thing about it is that storage is if you have saved it, and memory is if it's in memory but you have not stored it, right? So let's just understand that. We covered that in the previous clips, and there's been questions here and there about this, and thank you so much for that. We're always happy to clarify. We've also spoken to factors that impact computer performance, very important. A combination of a couple of things that we have listed before. Do visit that previous clips still in the channel, Unlimited Treasure, if you feel like you need to go back there or if you have jumped it by mistake. We've also covered information networks and the telephone network. So we've covered things like your LAN, WAN, wireless LAN, PAN, all those things. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you definitely need to go visit those clips. We have spoken to how we got to fiber. You know, we used to use things like ISDN back in the days, then this, then that, and then that. If you don't know how where we moved from ISDN to ADSL until we got to the broadbands and the fibers and all this Wi-Fi that we talk about today, please again just visit the previous clip on networks and you'll learn more about that. If you still don't understand the difference between internet, intranet, and extranet, visit the previous clip again. The purpose is just to assist you, so don't jump on any of these things. For your assignments, you may have these questions. Please visit the other clip. And for your exam, it becomes even more important, right? So, all the best to you. Let's start. Today, we are talking security, something that is very, very, very important in these days. Security is the thing. Guys, if you never paid attention, you'll pay attention even more now because especially for the working people who are listening, because I know that most of the people who be listening to this are working. Because as a part-time lecturer, I lecture a lot of working people whom I meet almost every Saturday, right? Or Sunday, even sometimes. So, guys, it is very important that we are aware of the security. Companies go through a lot of effort to make sure that their networks are secured. It is very important that we, then, people who work for these companies, make sure that we are aware of what is happening in the security space and comply, right? So, firstly, you would know about a password because you possibly logged into your computer. Very important, very important. Guys, it's very important also that you don't use the same password for everything, right? We will get to that password policies, right? At least 8 characters long. Please mix letters and numbers, and please let your phone password must not be your computer password and your banking password. And if there are people out there who are out there to just try and steal information from you and the company that you work for. And if they are going to figure out your password once and it be the password for everything, then you are in big trouble. You know, really, you'll be in big trouble. So try not to use the same password for everything. Don't use your child's name and date of birth, things that can be easily guessed. The thing about password, guys, is that they have to guess it. They have to try and know your password. So make it as difficult as possible. They can't just easily crack it, right? They have to guess it. So if your password is good and strong, companies are not just being petty by asking us or by asking you to have a strong password. Make it strong, mix those characters and letters and numbers and make it strong. Leave your house address out and date of birth. Things that can be easily guessed, please leave them out, right? This is just one of those very key things, right? Um, because there's viruses out there, right? There's threats out there. People want to get hold of your information, whether you think you are important or you don't think you are important. Guys, you're important. People want to get something from you, whether money from your bank account, whether information from your laptop. And the chances are the laptop that you use is a work laptop. So it may not even be about you, it may be about the company that you work for. But again, like I mentioned in one of the previous sessions that all they need in a company of 1,000 people or 5 people is just to be able to get into one. May your one not be the one, right? Make sure that you definitely have that strong password. We'll also get to the part of patching. Very, very important. Very, very important. Patch, patch, patch. Guys, when your company, because there's these viruses, because there's these threats that are always coming out, security companies therefore always make sure that they update the softwares that we have, and IT will then push these softwares to us. And we need to click on the software and make sure that it runs. And in most cases, this software is then want to restart our computers. Yes, you have an option to do it later. And many people postpone it for later. Guys, I don't have a problem with you postponing it for later. But please, before you go home the very same day, can you just make sure that you do that update, you patch your computer. So a basic way of explaining this is, imagine around your house, whether you live in an estate, a complex, a standalone, there's someone that is managing. Let's just say it's a complex or estate and there's a management, right? Body corporate, managing agent, they realize that there is a small hole in your fence, right? And then they decide that, you know what, this small hole that we're picking up now, there is actually a possibility that a thief may come at night and use this small hole and get in here and steal from these people. Then this must be corrected. And then they get a company to go and fix that fence. Then, for some reason, you think you can tell those people that, you know what, actually, guys, it's fine. Whatever you're using to patch here is just noisy. Can you come back tomorrow? Actually, can you come back later? Actually, can you come back tomorrow? Can you come back? You keep on postponing. That's what you're doing when you keep on really extending, postponing these patches. That's why I'm saying it's fine if they happen to send this patch in the morning and you feel that you're still busy, it's all right. But before you go home, please patch, because what could happen overnight is that they could send this threat, whatever they want to take, and you could be the person who didn't patch. And if they're able to get in through your laptop, then you're in trouble. I don't know why you shouldn't be disciplined or even be dismissed, because it's such a big risk, right? So, guys, it is very important. I can't stress this enough. Never push those things to more than a day. And by a day, I'm just really meaning if you're still busy in the morning, do it before you go home. Even if it restarts your computer, it's fine. You will be fine by the next day. But don't postpone it to the next day. Don't go home without patching, right? Because this virus that we're talking about, which is a small computer program that it can affect that can affect your computer and data, really this can get in while you're still postponing the patches. The patches come to make sure that it's extra security. They come to make sure that there is no, you are not exposed in any way. And by you, really, you and the company that you work for, right? So there's a lot of them, guys. There's quite a lot of viruses. I listed a few. Go through your books. There's the microviruses, there's worms, there's Trojan horses, there's spyware, there's all sorts, right? So they all come for different purposes. For example, a spyware would come and linger around your computer, keep on looking for information. In most cases, they would use it if they want to check some information, there's some financial information in your computer and stuff like that, right? And you know about others that they would send into your computer and then steal data and then request money from the company. That's called a ransomware. So there's a whole lot. Give yourself time to read about them and understand what they do. But they are dangerous. They are dangerous. A spyware may not look dangerous at the time that it's sent, but it's there to spy. So I don't know if anyone believes that there's a spy that is not dangerous. I think a spy is very dangerous because whatever it finds, then the danger starts being executed. Like whatever it's found can be used against you, right? So you don't want the company to be asked to pay millions simply because your computer was the one that they managed to get into the company through. And guys, sometimes they will find out that it's your computer simply because you didn't patch and you will be in trouble. I don't know how much I can repeat this, but please, please, please don't take issues of security lightly. All right. So obviously there's what we call an antivirus software. Companies put in firewalls as well. So again, if there's an update for an antivirus program, update it. Don't push it for later. You know, if you're using a work laptop, your company must have decided on what a good antivirus program is, and every time it just runs, allow it to run. Be able to scan your computer regularly. You would know what antivirus software your company use. If you don't know, if at this point as I'm talking you really don't know, call your IT and just ask them to be sure that, is there an antivirus in this computer? I never saw it running. How often does it scan? Does it scan behind the scenes? Do I need to do something? It's worth it. It's very important that you get to know these things. So ask them. The very same way you call IT when you don't know what's wrong with your laptop, you call the very same IT. If it's your own personal computer, it's worth you installing a good antivirus, because also if you are using that personal computer to do your banking and to do all the sensitive things, it's not gonna assist at all. Like, it's very important that you have an antivirus software. All right. Do not open anything suspicious, use a firewall, and your company would have this. So for your personal computers, guys, look at this and think, as my personal computer protected? It's equally important, especially if you do sensitive things in your personal computer. Okay. Um, I think also just in the security aspect, I jumped this part on backup. Um, so that's the other aspect that you need to talk about. It's very important, as important as security is backup. Make sure that, I was talking about calling IT, understand what policies exist within your company about backup. Understand if there's an automated backup happening in your computer, or you actually need to be clicking something, or you need to be backing up yourself. Because what happens could be that you could be going live in a week or two or the next day, and then they steal your computer or your computer crashes. What are you going to do? It is very important. When I talk about security, I prefer to also talk about backup, because these two things are very, very, very important. So backup is a copy of important data, and this important data must be secured. I think I talk about that in the same place, because whatever you back up, guys, if you are backing up work information, you need to back it up securely. What I mean by that is, what is very expensive to your information, to your company, is information. It's not really your laptop. So if someone steals your computer, it's not so much the computer that will be expensive. It can easily be replaced, but the information that is in there, imagine you are a person working in HR and you're very senior in the role, so you possibly have a spreadsheet open from work, because you think you're going to work from home from the same spreadsheet. That spreadsheet has, you were working on some succession planning, and you had opened a spreadsheet that has everyone's details. It's got their addresses, it's got the salary, it's got their next level. You're thinking, where would this one be when? And then with that, and then your password is not strong enough, right? Because they studied you, that's why they're taking your computer. Sometimes it's just bad luck, but sometimes these people study you and your movement, and they know why they're gonna take a laptop from you. So imagine you have that open and they already figured out that your password is this, they cracked it from another device and they know that it's the same as everything else. Then they steal that laptop. And or maybe let's just say your laptop is nicely secured, but inside that laptop you possibly also have your external hard drive, and it's not in any way encrypted. It's your backup. So I mean, you see where these things come in. So if your password is not strong enough, they're easily gonna get into your laptop, and wow, they're gonna get hold of that spreadsheet, and they will know everyone what they earn, and your directors what they earn, your CEO with these people's addresses, everything. Is that the kind of information you want people to be aware of? No, you don't. But say that is safe. you have saved it well, your password, they can't just crack, and your company has proper VPN in place, you know, there's proper security firewalls. But at some point when we were backing up, you just thought, let me back up in my external hard drive. And you did not um, encrypt it. It means then whoever then steals your laptop cannot have access to it, but will have access to your hard drive. They plug it, they get to the information that they really wanted. So as we back up, let's also make sure we back up safely. We ensure that we encrypt. If you are saving up, if you're backing up in an external hard drive, there's nothing wrong with that. I also do that, but let's encrypt them so that whoever then gets it still has to try and break in through a password again, a strong password, which means if they then decide that, you know what, we don't know this password, they leave it alone. But at least if your company is one of those smart companies, the minute you report, they are able to run something on their side to crush whatever's in your laptop. If they can't crush what's in your removable disk, that's fine. But at least no one can get easy access to who you are, your children's pictures, your pictures, company information. So guys, it's very, very, very important. Let's back up, but let's back up safely. Let's encrypt our devices. If you're going to do it on a CD or DVD, find a way. Actually, you're much better off saving, backing up on your work server or on the cloud. Or even at work, you can always password protect these things. Make sure your password is strong. Make sure it's not the same as the other one, so that if one cracks all, you know. So not so much crack. Sorry, they don't. It's not about cracking it. It's about guessing it, because in most cases they become like if they're able to guess it, right? So let's just make sure that we do these things. We are aware of what can happen to us, and really make sure that we take care of ourselves and our working environment. This is a very important topic. I think security is a big topic these days. If you go to your workplace and start talking security, I mean, it's a pain of every CEO. It's a pain of it's everyone's pain. So don't make it even more painful. Don't make it even more painful, please, because again, I'm sure the decisions that will be taken against people who don't comply with all the security requirements then will also be strong. I wish you all the best as you get to understand more on this topic. Feel free to ask questions. Um, like the clip, subscribe to the channel, share this with anyone that you feel will find it beneficial. It's not just only about school or or your assignment and exams. Really, it's very important. It's very, 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 very important. So feel free to share it, and do subscribe to the channel, because I will be posting more and more and more about other topics within the ICT space, right? Thank you very much for listening. From myself, Haifeli Treasure. Um, thank you so much. I treasure you. You are treasured. And don't forget to subscribe. Cheers.